Dear listener, imagine standing beneath the endless night sky and realizing that above those distant stars lies a secret sanctuary unknown to most of humanity. A sacred house that has never been touched by human hands, yet has never been empty for a single moment since the beginning of creation. This place is known in Islamic tradition as Bayt al-Mamur, the inhabited house of the heavens, a celestial sanctuary where angels gather in unimaginable numbers to worship Allah, the Lord of all worlds. While millions of believers circle the Kaaba in Mecca every year, few people realize that far above the seven heavens, there exists another house of worship mirroring the devotion taking place on earth. Long before cities were built, before mountains were climbed, and long before the first human being walked upon the earth, the heavens were already alive with worship. The angels, created from light, filled the vast skies in perfect obedience, never tiring, never questioning, and never disobeying their Creator. At the center of their devotion stood Bayt al-Mamur, a sacred house directly aligned with the Kaaba that would one day be built on earth. Every day, an astonishing procession of angels approaches this heavenly sanctuary, forming endless circles of worship around it, bowing, praising, and glorifying Allah with a humility beyond human imagination. But what makes Bayt al-Mamur truly astonishing is not only its beauty or its sacred position in the heavens, it is the incredible reality that 70,000 angels enter this house every single day to perform acts of worship, and once they leave, they never return again, forever. New angels arrive the following day, and the same divine rhythm continues without pause. Year after year, century after century, since the moment Allah created them. This means that the number of angels who have prayed in Bayt al-Mamur cannot be counted by any human mind. It is a reminder that Allah's creation is far greater than the world we see. The existence of this heavenly sanctuary was revealed to humanity through the words of the Prophet Muhammad, who described the wonders of the heavens after his miraculous night journey beyond the limits of the earthly world. During that extraordinary journey, he witnessed realities that no human eye had ever seen before. Among those breathtaking sights was Bayt al-Mamur, surrounded by waves of angels whose devotion filled the heavens with praise and remembrance of Allah. For believers on earth, this hidden house carries a profound meaning. It shows that worship is not limited to the small world humans inhabit. Rather, the entire universe is alive with devotion. From the highest heavens to the lowest corners of the earth, creation constantly glorifies its Lord. The angels circle Bayt al-Mamur, just as believers circle the Kaaba below, forming a beautiful harmony between heaven and earth. Yet despite its greatness, Bayt al-Mamur remains completely unseen to human eyes. No traveler can reach it, no telescope can capture it, and no map can reveal its exact location. It exists beyond the physical boundaries of our world, protected within the unseen realm, known only through revelation. This mystery reminds believers that the universe holds realities far greater than what human senses can perceive. And just when the wonder of Bayt al-Mamur begins to settle in our minds, another question quietly appears. Why did Allah create a heavenly Kaaba long before the Kaaba of earth was ever built? To understand that mystery, we must look deeper into the divine design of worship itself, because the story of Bayt al-Mamur is not only about angels and the heavens, it is also about humanity and the sacred connection between our world and the unseen realm. For the house above and the house below are bound together in a cosmic alignment that reveals a profound truth about the purpose of creation. And as we continue exploring this astonishing mystery, we begin to realize that the story of Bayt al-Mamur is only the beginning of a far greater revelation about the heavens and the divine order guiding every corner of existence, waiting to be understood by those who reflect. To understand the mystery of Bayt al-Mamur, we must travel back to a time long before the earth took the shape we recognize today. before mountains rose from the ground, before oceans spread across the planet, and before the first human breathed life into his lungs, the heavens had already been filled with creation. The angels, beings formed from pure light, were already worshipping Allah with perfect obedience. They neither grow tired nor distracted, and their existence revolves entirely around devotion to their Creator. Within this magnificent order of the heavens, Allah established a sacred center of worship known as Bayt al-Mamur, which means the inhabited house. This heavenly sanctuary was created as a place where angels gather continuously to glorify Allah. Just as humans on earth are guided toward a central place of worship, the angels were given their own sacred house in the heavens. This divine structure stands directly above the Kaaba on earth, forming a perfect vertical alignment that connects the world of humans with the world of angels. Islamic scholars have explained that this alignment is not accidental. It reflects a divine symmetry in the universe. Just as believers on earth turn toward the Kaaba during their prayers, the angels of the heavens circle around Bayt al-Mamur in constant worship. The movements of both realms mirror each other, creating a profound harmony between the unseen and the visible worlds. What humans experience during tawaf around the Kaaba is, in a sense, an earthly reflection of a far greater act of worship taking place above the seven heavens. The presence of Bayt al-Mamur also reveals something extraordinary about the scale of the angelic world. When humans imagine the heavens, they often think of empty space stretching endlessly into darkness. But Islamic tradition describes the heavens as vibrant realms filled with countless angels performing different acts of worship. Some angels stand in prayer forever, others remain in prostration, and others continuously glorify Allah without pause. Among all these acts of devotion, Bayt al-Mamur holds a special place as a gathering point where angels come together to worship in unity. Every day, 70,000 angels are granted the honor of entering Bayt al-Mamur. They circle around it in devotion, praising Allah with words of glorification that echo throughout the heavens. Once they leave, they never return again. Another 70,000 angels arrive the next day, continuing this endless cycle of worship. This astonishing detail shows that the number of angels created by Allah is far beyond human comprehension. Even if this process has continued for millions of years, the supply of angels has never diminished. The creation of Bayt al-Mamur, therefore, serves as a reminder that worship is woven into the fabric of the universe itself. Humanity often imagines itself at the center of existence, yet the story of this heavenly sanctuary shows that the universe has been glorifying Allah long before human history began. The angels who circle Bayt al-Mamur have been worshipping since the earliest moments of creation, demonstrating a level of devotion that humans can only aspire to reach. Yet despite its significance, the existence of Bayt al-Mamur remained hidden from humanity for thousands of years. No prophet before the final messenger described it in detail, and no human being had witnessed it with their own eyes. It was part of the unseen world that Allah chose to keep concealed, known only to the angels who inhabited the heavens. That secrecy continued until a moment arrived that would change human understanding forever. On a night unlike any other in history, a journey beyond the limits of Earth revealed many hidden realities of the universe. Among the breathtaking sights witnessed during that miraculous ascent was the heavenly sanctuary itself, surrounded by countless angels in worship. But as we reflect on the existence of Bayt al-Mamur, another fascinating question begins to form. If a sacred house of worship already existed in the heavens for the angels, why did Allah later command humans to build another house of worship on earth? What connection exists between these two sacred structures that stand worlds apart, yet remain mysteriously aligned? The answer to that question leads us to one of the most profound moments in human history, when the Kaaba was built in the desert valley of Mecca, becoming the earthly reflection of the heavenly sanctuary above. For centuries, believers have turned their faces toward a single point on earth while praying to Allah. No matter where a Muslim stands, whether in the deserts of Arabia, the forests of Africa, the crowded cities of Asia, or the distant lands of the West, the direction of prayer always leads toward one sacred place, the Kaaba in Mecca. Millions of people have walked around it, millions have prayed beside it, and millions have wept near its ancient walls. Yet behind this earthly sanctuary lies a deeper mystery that many believers rarely reflect upon. Islamic tradition teaches that the Kaaba on earth is not an isolated structure built only for humanity. Instead, it is part of a greater design that stretches far beyond the boundaries of our world. Directly above it, high above the seven heavens, stands Bayt al-Mamur, the heavenly house where angels gather for worship. The two sanctuaries exist in perfect alignment, one on earth and the other in the heavens, forming a spiritual connection between the world of humans and the unseen realm of angels. This alignment reveals something profound about the nature of worship. When believers perform tawaf and walk in circles around the Kaaba, they unknowingly mirror the worship taking place above them. At the same time that humans circle the Kaaba in Mecca, angels circle Bayt al-Mamur in the heavens. Two different creations, separated by unimaginable distance, are united in a single act of devotion directed toward the same Creator. It is as if the entire universe participates in a shared rhythm of worship. The story of the Kaaba itself reaches deep into the earliest chapters of human history. According to Islamic teachings, the foundations of the Kaaba were first established by the prophets Ibrahim and Ismail. In a barren valley surrounded by mountains and desert, they raised the walls of the sacred house with their own hands, following a command from Allah. As they worked together, they prayed with humility, asking their Lord to accept their effort and to make the Kaaba a place where people would gather in devotion for generations to come. At that time, Mecca was nothing like the crowded city is today. It was a quiet valley with little sign that it would one day become the spiritual heart of the Muslim world. Yet Allah had already chosen this location as the center of worship for humanity. Just as the angels were given Bayt al-Mamur in the heavens, humans were given the Kaaba on earth as a focal point for prayer and unity. The symbolism behind this connection is powerful. The Kaaba does not represent a direction of worship because the building itself holds divine power. Rather, it represents unity. Every believer faces the same direction, forming a global community bound together in devotion to Allah alone. This unity reflects the harmony seen among the angels who circle Bayt al-Mamur, without pride, without rivalry, and without division. Over time, the Kaaba became a place of immense spiritual significance. Generations of prophets honored it, and pilgrims traveled from distant lands to visit it. However, human history also witnessed periods when its sacred purpose was forgotten. Idols were placed around the Kaaba, and the people of Mecca drifted away from the pure worship of Allah. The house that had once symbolized monotheism became surrounded by practices that contradicted its original purpose. Yet Allah's plan was never abandoned. The Kaaba would eventually be purified and restored to its true role as the center of worship for believers. When that restoration came, the connection between the earthly sanctuary and the heavenly one became even more meaningful. The Kaaba once again stood as a reflection of Bayt al-Mamur, reminding humanity that their acts of worship are part of a much larger reality unfolding beyond the visible world. Today, when millions of pilgrims circle the Kaaba during the pilgrimage of Hajj or during the smaller pilgrimage of Umrah, they participate in a tradition that reaches back thousands of years. But what many of them do not realize is that their movements echo an even greater act of devotion occurring far above them. Every step taken around the Kaaba mirrors the endless circles of angels surrounding Bayt al-Mamur in the heavens. This realization raises an astonishing thought. If the angels who circle Bayt al-Mamur are countless, and if new angels arrive there every single day, then the scale of worship happening in the heavens must be far beyond human imagination. And this leads us to one of the most breathtaking details ever revealed about the heavenly sanctuary, the incredible procession of angels who visit it each day and never return again. Among all the mysteries surrounding Bayt al-Mamur, one detail stands out with breathtaking power. It is not only the existence of this heavenly sanctuary that amazes believers, but the unimaginable number of angels who gather there every single day. According to authentic Islamic narrations, 70,000 angels enter Bayt al-Mamur daily to worship Allah. After completing their devotion, they leave the sacred house and never return again for the rest of eternity. At first glance, this number may seem large, but when one reflects on its deeper meaning, it becomes truly astonishing. 70,000 new angels arrive every day. The next day, another 70,000 appear. Then another 70,000 the day after that. This cycle has continued since the earliest moments of creation and will continue until the end of time. Each group receives the honor of worshipping at Bayt al-Mamur only once in their existence. This reveals a reality that the human mind struggles to comprehend. The number of angels created by Allah is beyond counting. Humanity often measures greatness by numbers, thousands, millions, even billions, but the heavenly world exists on a scale far greater than anything humans have experienced. The continuous arrival of 70,000 angels every day suggests a creation so vast that even the greatest mathematicians would fail to grasp its true magnitude. Angels themselves are extraordinary creations. Unlike humans, they are made from light and live in complete obedience to Allah. They do not eat, sleep, or grow tired. They never disobey their Lord, nor do they struggle with temptation or doubt. Their entire existence is dedicated to worship and service. Some angels guard the gates of paradise, others carry divine messages, and others watch over the affairs of the universe. Yet, among all their duties, the worship performed at Bayt al-Mamur remains one of the most honored acts. When these 70,000 angels enter the heavenly sanctuary, they gather around it in circles of devotion. They glorify Allah, praise His greatness, and declare His perfection with voices that fill the heavens. The atmosphere surrounding Bayt al-Mamur is described by scholars as a place of overwhelming humility and devotion, where every angel recognizes the majesty of the Creator and submits completely to His command. What makes this event even more profound is the fact that none of these angels return again after their first visit. Once they complete their worship and leave Bayt al-Mamur, their turn has ended forever. Another group of angels will receive that privilege the following day. This divine order continues endlessly, ensuring that countless angels across the heavens receive the honor of visiting the sacred house. Reflecting on this reality leads to a powerful spiritual lesson. Human beings often imagine themselves as the center of creation. Our lives, our cities, and our history feel immense to us. Yet the story of Bayt al-Mamur reminds us that the universe is filled with countless creations beyond our knowledge. Entire worlds exist within the unseen realm, populated by beings who have been worshipping Allah long before human civilization began. Despite this immense creation, Allah still chose humanity to carry the responsibility of faith on earth. Humans were given free will, a gift not granted to angels. While angels worship Allah without hesitation, humans must struggle with temptation, doubt, and distraction. Yet, when a believer sincerely turns to Allah in prayer, that act of devotion carries a special weight. because it comes from a heart that chose faith despite the challenges of the world. The angels who circle Bayt al-Mamur never grow proud of their worship. They remain humble, aware that their devotion is only possible because Allah allows it. This humility offers an important reminder for believers on earth. True worship is not about pride or recognition. It is about sincerity and submission to the Creator. The presence of 70,000 angels entering Bayt al-Mamur each day also reveals something about the beauty of divine order. Nothing in the universe is random. Every angel arrives at the exact moment appointed for them. Every act of worship occurs in perfect harmony with the will of Allah. The heavens operate with a precision and balance that reflects the greatness of their Creator. For centuries, this extraordinary reality remained unknown to humanity. People prayed, worshipped, and lived their lives without realizing that far above the seven heavens, an endless procession of angels was performing devotion around a sacred house. It was part of the unseen world, hidden behind a veil that human senses could not cross. That veil remained closed until one remarkable night changed human understanding forever. On that night, a journey beyond the boundaries of the earth allowed a human being to witness realities that had never been seen before. During that miraculous ascent through the heavens, one of the sights revealed was Bayt al-Mamur itself, surrounded by angels engaged in constant worship. The story of that night is one of the most extraordinary moments in Islamic history, a journey that unveiled many secrets of the unseen world and allowed humanity to learn about the heavenly sanctuary that had existed above them since the beginning of creation. For centuries, the existence of Bayt al-Mamur remained completely hidden from humanity. No traveler had ever seen it, no scholar had ever described it, and no civilization had recorded its existence. It belonged to the unseen world, a reality that exists beyond human senses. But one night in history, a moment arrived when Allah chose to reveal some of the secrets of the heavens to a single human being. That night is known in Islamic tradition as the night journey and ascension, a miraculous event experienced by Muhammad. During this extraordinary journey, he was taken from Mecca to Jerusalem and then raised through the seven heavens. It was not a dream or imagination, but a divine journey that allowed him to witness realities hidden from the rest of humanity. As the Prophet ascended through the heavens, he encountered many astonishing sights. Each heaven revealed a different world, filled with angels and prophets who had lived long before his time. The higher he traveled, the more magnificent the scenes became. The heavens were not empty spaces as humans might imagine, but realms filled with life, light, and worship. Eventually, during this incredible ascent, the Prophet was shown Bayt al-Mamur, the heavenly sanctuary that had been the center of angelic worship since the earliest moments of creation. The sight before him was unlike anything seen on earth. Surrounding the sacred house were vast gatherings of angels, each one devoted entirely to glorifying Allah. Their voices filled the heavens with praise as they circled the sanctuary in perfect harmony. This moment was not only breathtaking, but deeply meaningful. For the first time in human history, a human being witnessed the heavenly house where angels performed their worship. The Prophet later described this sight to his companions, explaining that Bayt al-Mamur is visited by 70,000 angels every single day, and once they leave, they never return again. The companions who heard this narration realized that the scale of Allah's creation was far beyond what human imagination could grasp. The revelation of Bayt al-Mamur during the night journey also revealed something else that was extraordinary. The heavenly sanctuary stood directly above the Kaaba on earth, forming a connection between the two worlds. This alignment showed that worship on earth and worship in the heavens are part of a greater divine design. Humans circle the Kaaba below, while angels circle Bayt al-Mamur above, both acts directed toward the same creator. For the companions listening to these descriptions, the story was both awe-inspiring and humbling. They had grown up in a desert environment where the sky seemed vast and mysterious. Yet now they were learning that beyond that sky existed entire realms of creation filled with angels, worship, and sacred places unknown to humanity. The night journey revealed many secrets, but the vision of Bayt al-Mamur carried a unique message. It showed that the universe is alive with devotion. Every corner of creation, whether visible or unseen, participates in glorifying Allah. While humans often become distracted by worldly concerns, the angels continue their worship without pause, reminding believers of the true purpose of existence. The companions of the Prophet carefully preserved these narrations and passed them down through generations. Scholars later studied these reports and explained their meaning to believers across the Muslim world. Through these teachings, the hidden sanctuary of Bayt al-Mamur became known as one of the wonders of the unseen world. Even today, when believers hear the story of this heavenly house, they are reminded that the universe contains realities far greater than what human eyes can see. Above the stars and beyond the limits of the visible sky, angels continue their endless devotion around Bayt al-Mamur. Their worship has never stopped and will continue for as long as Allah wills. But the purpose of revealing this secret was never simply to amaze humanity with the vastness of creation. The story of Bayt al-Mamur carries a deeper lesson, one that speaks directly to every believer. Just as angels dedicate their existence to worship, humans were also created with a purpose that goes beyond the distractions of the world. Understanding that message leads us to the final reflection of this story. Bayt al-Mamur is not only a mystery hidden in the heavens, it is also a reminder of the true role humanity must fulfill on earth. The story of Bayt al-Mamur is more than a description of a hidden sanctuary in the heavens. It carries a message that reaches directly into the hearts of believers on earth. When a person hears about 70,000 angels visiting this heavenly house every single day, never to return again, the mind begins to grasp the immense scale of Allah's creation. Yet, within that vast universe, humanity has been given a unique and powerful responsibility. Angels were created with a nature that never disobeys Allah. They do not struggle with temptation, doubt, or distraction. Their devotion flows naturally from their creation. Humans, however, were given something different. They were granted free will, the ability to choose between obedience and disobedience. Because of this freedom, every act of sincere worship performed by a believer carries tremendous meaning. The angels who circle Bayt al-Mamur worship continuously, without interruption. Day and night have no effect on them, and the passage of centuries does not weaken their devotion. Yet Allah still created humanity and gave them the opportunity to worship Him despite the challenges of worldly life. When a believer pauses in the middle of daily responsibilities to perform prayer, that moment becomes incredibly precious because it represents a conscious choice to remember the Creator. The connection between the Kaaba on earth and Bayt al-Mamur in the heavens also reminds believers that their acts of worship are not isolated events. When pilgrims travel to Mecca and circle the Kaaba during pilgrimage, they are participating in a form of devotion that reflects the worship of angels above the seven heavens. While humans walk upon the ground of the sacred sanctuary, angels are circling their heavenly counterpart far beyond the visible sky. This realization brings a sense of humility. Human beings often become absorbed in their own concerns and struggles, believing their lives are the center of the universe. But the story of Bayt al-Mamur reminds us that the universe is filled with countless creations devoted to Allah. From the highest heavens to the smallest creatures on earth, everything glorifies its creator in ways humans may never fully understand. Yet, despite the vastness of creation, Allah has honored humanity with knowledge and guidance. Through revelation, believers have been given glimpses into the unseen world. The description of Bayt al-Mamur is one of those glimpses. It reminds believers that the physical world is only a small part of reality. Beyond what the eye can see lies an enormous universe, filled with angels, divine order, and constant remembrance of Allah. Another lesson hidden within the story of Bayt al-Mamur is humility in worship. The angels who visit this heavenly sanctuary never boast about their devotion. They perform their worship with complete submission and gratitude. This humility serves as an example for believers on earth. Worship is not meant to be a display of pride or superiority. It is meant to be a sincere connection between the servant and the Creator. Reflecting on Bayt al-Mamur can also strengthen faith in the unseen. Much of what Allah has created exists beyond human perception. People cannot see the angels who surround them, and they cannot witness the heavenly sanctuary above the seven heavens. Yet believers accept these realities because they trust the words revealed through the Prophet Muhammad. This trust forms the foundation of faith, reminding believers that truth is not limited to what human eyes can observe. Even today, when millions of Muslims gather around the Kaaba, the connection between the earthly sanctuary and the heavenly one continues quietly above them. Pilgrims walk around the Kaaba, raising their hands in prayer and asking Allah for forgiveness and guidance. At that same moment, angels circle Bayt al-Mamur with devotion that has never stopped since the beginning of creation. Two worlds, separated by unimaginable distance, united in the same act of worship. This powerful connection shows that worship is woven into the structure of the universe. It is not limited to a single place or time. It exists in the heavens, on earth, and throughout the unseen realms created by Allah. Bayt al-Mamur stands as a reminder that devotion to the Creator is the true purpose of existence. For believers who reflect upon this story, the message becomes clear. The universe is filled with signs pointing toward the greatness of Allah. The hidden sanctuary above the heavens is one of those signs, reminding humanity that their lives are part of a much greater reality. When a believer stands in prayer, they are joining a cosmic act of worship that stretches far beyond the boundaries of the earth. And perhaps that is the most powerful lesson of Bayt al-Mamur. While humans may never see this heavenly house with their own eyes, the knowledge of its existence invites them to strengthen their faith, deepen their worship, and remember that the entire universe is united in glorifying the one who created it.